Morning, it's Barbara. No Gizmo today because Dennis is in there listening to the weather report. Not looking good, although I see a little blue sky up there at the moment. But I could see something peeking out of that house when I was making my coffee this morning. They're living in there. I don't know how many. This is my OLAC. I haven't worn this color in a while. We'll see how it goes. Oh, looks good. This is regular lipstick. I don't know if it stays, but it feels good. I'm looking for it to feel good. So good morning, it's Barbara. Thank you for joining me for coffee on this soupy day. I mean, it's like hot soup out here. Ugh, terrible. But the rain will be starting this afternoon and very heavy. So Dennis says I don't have to water my flowers. I'm wondering if I should put them under the umbrella. Yeah. So those birds are going to be happy to have a house, let me tell you. But yeah, so it's going to be bad. I think it's going to be rainy for almost like 24 hours. And then we're supposed to have really nice weather afterwards. So I am seriously looking forward to that. But it is gross out here at the moment. I think it's 88 degrees. 79 dew point. Soup. Anyway, enough of that. I'm out here. So, yesterday. I had a good day yesterday. I mean, I didn't necessarily enjoy the whole day, but I accomplished a lot. I got what I needed from my lawyer. It's in process. I didn't get it, but it's in process. Had a very long conversation. Answered a couple of questions I had about, the grandchildren and how that's going to work and everything. So I got a lot of information, and I've gotten what my lawyer wanted in the works. So, good. And that felt good. I still have one set of forms to fill out and send in, and maybe I'll do that today in the rain. I don't know. Well, it's raining, and of course, it's not like I'm going out anyway. I don't know why I say it like that. I am going out today. I have my physical therapy at 1:30. Last week, my legs felt so heavy and leaden. It was terrible. But since my physical therapy, they're arguing in the house. They really are. The one who's in the door, the other one's inside. Since my physical therapy on Monday, my knee hasn't hurt as much, and I didn't feel quite as leaden. So I am very happy about that. So I'm not looking forward to my physical therapy, but I'm interested to see how it all works out. Also yesterday, I was listening to my stories on my phone, which, I feel like I'm wasting my time. And then I felt like doing something, but I'm right at the place in my sweater where I have to pick up stitches. And I'm not feeling like spinning, which makes me sad. And I didn't have the mental energy to start the sleeves. So I started crocheting on my crochet blanket. I have a giant granny square crochet blanket that will eventually fit a king-size bed. Eventually. And I haven't worked on it in a long time. And, I tend to run cool. So our house, sometimes I'm sitting there and I'm slightly chilled, not really chilled because we wouldn't keep it that low. I mean, we have it at 68. I'm sorry, 72 for the air conditioning. It's at 72. So anyway, I didn't mind having the blanket on my lap, is where I'm trying to go with that. And I did a couple rows, maybe a row and a half or more on my blanket last night. And it's getting big, so those rows are huge. However, I am now going to have to go and wind some of the cream color that I use for, I do 4 rows of color and then 2 rows of cream, 4 rows of color. It's giving it a little structure and it's looking good, and I'm really happy with it. But I used up all the cream I had wound, and it's the same cream I'm using for my sweater. And it's starting to rain. So anyway, I have to wind some yarn. I have it upstairs. Damn. Yeah, it's starting to rain. I'll sit here for a minute. I wanted to... So anyway, that felt good. And I was happy about that. And so I enjoyed my shows more when I didn't feel like I was such a lazy bum. So that's good. I think that's good, right? And I've got a little work done on my blanket, and I probably will do the same thing tonight. My plans today are my physical therapy. I think I have to make crackers again because they're going quickly. That queso is delicious. And yeah, Kim is back. She's going to visit her mother today, so we will not be going to Aura's, so we won't have to go out in the rain besides physical therapy. And hopefully we'll have a break in the rain so we can feed the dogs. But it's going to be very thundery, so we are not looking forward to... Pearl is going to have a very bad day. Poor baby. But, it is what it is. But I wanted to show you this. This is the A-Tag journal. And the A-Tag is the Assembly for the Teaching of English Grammar. And back in the olden days... This is my mother. Back in the olden days, when my mom would go to the English conferences, the conferences for teachers, English teachers, they would have no sessions about grammar. They wouldn't accept any papers about grammar, no sessions about grammar. They had it in their head that grammar, talk about the redheaded stepchild of English teaching was grammar back in those days. And she was really frustrated by that. So she is the founder. This says A-Tag founder. She started this organization back in the day to help support English teachers who are teaching grammar. And I'm gonna cry. So this is the journal. They always have a journal after their conference. This is the journal in which they dedicated to my mother. And they have a really lovely obituary about her. And then all kinds of wonderful, comments from people who knew her back in the day. And, talked about her influence on them. Anyway. My mom. Sorry. I'm not necessarily better, but I got to keep going, But anyway, I am very proud of my mother. And the saddest thing about dementia is that she forgot herself in the end. But other people are remembering her with gratitude and appreciation and love, and she had a big influence on people. Since she passed, I've heard from several of her students, and what a difference it made for her. Now her class was for a long time required for pre-law. Had to learn grammar in pre-law. So she has a lot of lawyer students. Anyway, yeah. I was feeling a lot of feels yesterday. Because here I am on the phone trying to sort out my mom's estate. And sometimes it just comes over me, you know. Should have brought a napkin out here. Anyway, so that was so lovely. So lovely. I have to show that to the kids. Anyway, I keep saying that. So today I'm expecting to be feeling feels and I'll just crochet my blanket and listen to the stupid stories on my phone after I make crackers and do my physical therapy. On Monday, I was exhausted after my physical therapy, so I don't plan anything after that. In fact, Monday, I didn't even walk the dogs. I was like, I'm not walking the dogs, so for whatever that's worth to you, you know, I just can't. So we'll see how today goes. But since I'm feeling better coming up to my physical therapy than I was on Monday, maybe I will have a different, you know, I won't be quite so exhausted. I hope not. I hope not. So anyway, that's my plan for the day. That's my only going out. And yeah. But I guess I have to go in and make crackers. That's my job these days. I think Dennis is going to make some kind of yummy French chicken dish in creamy sauce for dinner. So that will be fun. They are delicious. He has several recipes from this French guy, the French Cooking Academy, I think it's called, channel on YouTube. And the guy is very cute and very French. But he has a lot of chicken dishes that we can have, you know. They make all kinds of things that, you know, we don't eat carbs. So, you know, we can't have rice and flour and all that stuff. So, if you have celiacs, keto's the way to go, man. You know. Keto's the way to go. You avoid all that gluten. Yep. Anyway. Sorry about that. But every once in a while, it comes rolling over me, you know, and I think part of my problem is that I've been so, you know, it's been so much business, you know. The deaths of my parents and my sister have generated so much business for me to do that, you know, I don't know. I'm still processing. Yeah. And every once in a while, I get a slap in the face. And then you get it too, and I apologize for that. I mean, I don't really, but it doesn't necessarily have to be on my vlog, you know. I can do that in the privacy of my own home. Although, you know, this is real life here happening, you know. You just can't talk for 20 minutes every day without, you know, being real. You know, I'm real. This is me. And some of you have met me and can testify that this is me. Although, I'm quite sure that for the most part, knitting bloggers and podcasters are, you know, what you see is what you get. That, you know, there are some that are a little more, have a little, shall we call, a little more production value, maybe a little more professional. And I think for the most part, those are often tutorial type things. maybe not. I guess I don't know who I'm thinking about when I say that. Anyway, I just find that every podcaster that I've met, they are who they are. I know them already because I watch their podcasts. You know what I mean? Just like you feel like you know me because you watch my vlog. You do. You do. This is the real thing. This is me. So, and I really, as many times as I've wanted, like woken up, because I wake up and then I have my coffee, or now I'm having a tea, and so I think about, what I'm going to talk about on my vlog. I try not to put too much energy into preparation and post-production of the vlog, because I really do feel like if it turns into too much, I won't be able to do it every day. And in fact, total honesty, transparency, it has crossed my mind a couple times lately that maybe I should do it once a week. Although, to be honest, since I can't remember what the heck I did yesterday, I don't know how I'm going to do a once a week vlog. I would have to take notes every day. I would have to start a log like Aura does and like read you my log at the end of the week. But anyway, I just couldn't do this if it was too much work, which is why it's very raw. And and why do it if I'm not going to be honest and real, It has occurred to me when I'm sitting there and I can't think of a single thing to talk about. Like I didn't do anything yesterday. I mean, like I just sat there and listened to stories on my phone kind of day. And it has occurred to me to say, well, I really want to do thus and so today. I'll just tell them I did that. I can't do that. I can't do that. I would love to just, So every time I told you I read a book, I really did. I really read a book. Not that, I mean, that's one sentence in a vlog, so it doesn't give me a lot of content reading that book, but you know what I mean. Sometimes I just don't do anything. And I'm trying to give myself grace to not do anything. I picture, the reason I do this vlog and I did my podcast, because once I discovered knitting podcasts back in the day, I started thinking, I could do a podcast. And then I started narrating my knitting and narrating my life like I had a podcast. So I had started already, before I started my podcast, I had started, sort of podcasting in my head. And I have no idea where I'm going with this. I got really angry this morning when I was trying to think of the word ice chest and I couldn't. I am doing keto for my brain. I hope it works. I don't want Dennis to have to go through what my dad went through. But anyway, wherever I always go with that, I don't know. But that's why I started podcasting, because I really got hooked by it. But I get that way. But then I did the podcast, which is the thing that's different than usual. For a while I was like reading romance novels. I thought, I should write a romance novel. And I'm sitting here listening to these stupid AI generated stories, thinking to myself, I should write those stories and I could narrate them. I have a pretty good narrating voice. And I could have a YouTube channel of little short revenge stories that I wrote. That's how I think. As if I want to do anything like that work. But anyway, I am trying to be myself. And I really am careful. I don't tell you everything, but I don't lie to you either. If you know what I mean. I mean, I can't put everything out on the internet. To be honest, I think I put everything about me. There is very little you don't know about me personally from these vlogs. But, I have people in my life that, they get to have privacy. Sometimes when I have a take two, it's because I've said too much, maybe about Aura or about something going on. And I realize that I can't put that out on the internet because this is the internet. My dad used to laugh and say, you guys are going to be immortal. You're putting all that stuff out on social media and out on the internet, and it's going to last forever. So, who knows? And in my back of my mind, I think that maybe my grandchildren, when they're older and I'm gone, might want to watch my vlogs just to remember Nana. That would be nice. Okay, I am rambling and have no idea what I'm talking about. But anyway, I just want to say that, this is me being me in this moment. And the rain has stopped. So, I see a little blue sky out of one corner of the sky, and otherwise it's getting pretty dark. So, I'm going to go. And it's very uncomfortable. These birds are still talking. I wonder if I could hear babies. Could there be babies talking in there? That would be fun. All right, I gotta go. Please take good care of yourselves. Please, please, please stay safe and stay sane.